So in researching the artifact you chose yesterday, we're going to kind of start in Gale, and if we need to step out just a bit into the rest of the internet, we will. But let's see what we can find in our Gale sources first. So you might be like, all right, I got to research on this art of this, monument. What the heck am I supposed to be researching? Like, what are we looking for? Ultimately, our two guiding questions are here in red. Why does this thing matter? If we're looking at a monument to Rosa Parks, so what? Like, why does she matter? Why does the monument matter? Why does it matter where it is? Why does it matter how it's designed? Because at the end of the day, what we're looking to do with this is to talk about the argument that it makes. What's the point of view that this object presents? And in order to do that, there are two things we can start by looking for. One is information about the topic itself. You may know rough estimates in your head. Okay, Rosa Parks was an African-American woman who sat on a bus and didn't give her seat up to a white guy and, was a major figure in the civil rights era. But you might not be able to tell me when she was born, where that bus was, any other details about her. So maybe we look for a biography of Rosa Parks. Maybe we look for an informational article over that incident on the bus. We look for something that can inform our perspective, because again, if we're going back to what's the argument that it's making, it's presenting a viewpoint and a perspective on Rosa Parks. Once we look here, and again, all of your things have this end to it. It may not be a person. So if you're doing like the Brown versus Board of Education mural, obviously we can't find this. Well, you can find a biography on Brown, but maybe we find an informational article over the court case. What started it? How was it decided? What's the impact been on schools after it? Then we want to look for something on the artifact itself. So if you're doing a monument, for example, hey, can we find an article about when the monument opened? Can we find information on who designed it? On what the thought was?
Good morning, teachers. Please pardon this interruption.
How it was designed?
At this time, if you have any students that need to do TELPAS testing, go ahead and send them to the library. You should have all received a list for the students that need to go this morning. Also, please make sure that you are referring to your makeup list. If you have any of the makeup students in your class, please go ahead and send them to the library as well. And if you have students who are testing in the afternoon, please remember that they need to go to a lunch and then report to the library after that. Again, at this time, if you have any students needing to take TELPAS, please go ahead and send them to the library. Thank you.
I always wait a second because they come back sometimes. All right. So if we're looking here, can you find anything on the person that designed it? What they were thinking, their intentionality. Does the design mean something? Or maybe you can find an article of what we would consider criticism about the meaning of it. If you're doing Blackbird, the Beatles song, can you find an article written about the song, how it's written, how the musical composition is written, what the words mean, things like that. These will help to enrich, again, that argument. Because yeah, we can get the background on who these people are, but ultimately we want to see what's being communicated through the artifact itself. So if you're looking at the mural, why include the different images that they do? What do they want us to understand? Why? How are they trying to show that viewpoint? All these things can be there. Let's start in Gale. And if we still need to pull a source, maybe then we step into a little bit of Google searching. And a great place that we can look if you do decide to step into Google searching here, I'm going to put it over here, is Google Scholar. Never used it. Scholar.google.com, and it basically tries to cut out some of the things that maybe aren't great references about topics. Because if we're going to step out, we want to stay away from things like Wikipedia, Ask, blogs, the stuff where anybody can just post things. This helps you to find what you need. So as we're working today, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to be working in Noodle Tools again. We're going to go back to that. So we link to it from our library website. And because we're doing a new assignment, we want to start a new project. So remember, when we do that, we choose MLA for the format and junior for the level of citation. If we're working in Gale, we can simply export our sources from Gale directly into Noodle Tools and we're good. But if you choose to step outside of Gale for your research, you will be responsible for doing those citations yourself. I'm going to post a couple of links to some pages that can help you out with just, hey, what do you look for? But the one thing you want to make sure to copy is the URL, the address at the top of the screen for the website. Make sure to put that in. That way, if you don't do the citation the right way the first time, you still have the link to the page so you can go back and clean it up and fix it. What we're looking for today is 3 sources. We're going to submit those by exporting out of Noodle Tools to a Google Doc and then just submitting the Google Doc for today's assignment. Really simple. We're going to then build that annotated bibliography. So if you're looking and I would suggest scanning sources today. Don't worry about needing to read them fully because that's going to come as part of our annotated bibliography work that we're going to do tomorrow and Friday. So look for good sources that we can find. If you need help, please let me know. I'm going to take a second to dump a couple links into Canvas just to help with